And good afternoon, everybody. This is evening. Sorry. 4.3 here. Just want to say, in this case here, good morning, because it's actually 1 a.m. in the morning when I actually do this here for that. But for you, it might be midday. So we're just going to say good day or good evening to you. This is 4.3 here, bringing you another Life of the Dad of 5. This time we are dealing with my middle child. That is Jonica Lee Edwards. And this is the one, well, everybody else calls the angry one. Now, she's the middle child of 5. So most people usually say, well, the middle child's going to have issues. You know, they're going to feel as if they're, neglected or they're left behind or blah, 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 and everything else like that. This child does not have any of those type of issues. She's been her own way since the day she was born. Okay. Now, as I've told you on with previous children, so that we had Art as our nurse. Yes, male nurse again. And she was the stubborn one. She was like, I'm not coming out. I don't care what you say, what you do. Not feeling it. Art steps on the scene, and all of a sudden, she's like, I come into the world, come out beautifully, scream once to let you know I'm alive, I'm kicking, leave me the hell alone. Then she got quiet after that. So the doctor's like, okay, concerned, okay, she's not screaming and yelling, because most babies do the crying thing and everything else like that. Nope, not her. So they check her over, do their standard battery test, the eye stuff, blah, 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 all that stuff like that. And of course, comes back, here's your beautiful girl. She's fine. All good. Now on my wife's side, that was kind of traumatic for her, so that the way she came out, because again, she came out as if, I don't care about nothing in the world, a bit of pain for her, so that just as being the middle child and everything else, so that, but something that was not unbearable. So again, she came into the world, with joy, pain, and screamed just for a second and said, I'm here. So even from the beginning, you can tell she came out like she's been here before. I've done this. This is old. So let's go to something else, basically. Okay. So growing up, she was, always had a smile on her face. Always. Until not. Meaning that 1 minute she was like, even as a baby, you have people that you bring joy to your life. You can look at their face and see smiles for that, but they always know when bad people are around. So certain people, she was always, the smile, big, as you see in the picture right here. So that she always had that facial expression, like, okay, I love this place, I love everything, until it's not. Then she'll get to a person that, basically by their aura, she's like, okay, mean right away. Don't touch me, even as a baby. Don't touch me. Don't try to pick me up. Don't try to. No, I don't like you. I do not like you. Back up. Back away. Like the people are like, okay, why? And then you again. This is even with family. Multiple people come around with, oh, dear baby, and she get again when she's by us and everything. We're looking after her. She's cooing and everything else like that. Someone, oh, look at your. Again, she's a baby looking up like she get quiet instantly. Okay, I see nothing wrong with that. From what I've heard, I was the same way. Okay, no big deal. So growing up, this pattern has always been the same. When she got 3, 4, she'd run around with other people, with her siblings and everything else that got along with her older sister. And we already know the older sister doesn't really get along with people because, she's a little kid banging stuff on her head. Stop doing that. She didn't care. She just kept doing it anyway. If you didn't want to pay attention to her, so that she will run up on you and so that, and well, basically kneecap you, hit you in the knee or leg, whatever, to get your attention. So when she has your attention and, you play with her, she's joy and everything else. And if you don't, well, okay, I got something for you. So going along, I was like, okay, me and my wife were like, okay, this one here is going to be trouble. My wife is said, no, it's not going to be trouble. That's you. Now, as I told you before, I have one child that looks like me, and which is my son. He looks like me. He doesn't act like me. I have this child here again. She still has my general look and everything else of that. Just like I have a general look of my mom and everything else of that. We look very similar. Just like I look very similar to my mom. That's why people don't like me to cut off all of this and everything else, because actually too much feminine features. But anyway, so she looks like me. So if you drew a beard on her and everything else, so that even I had pictures of where she had the thing on, she looks like her brother, and the brother looks like me. So you go up to even when she is 4 or 5, you can see that she was no one to be trifled with. She, again, when she didn't have a smile on her face, there was a dark little tendency in that background and saying, okay, do not piss me off. I will get you and your little dog too. So around animals, love them. She loves them to death. Around people, not so much. Now, as I've said before, all of my children, well, not all of them, some of my children don't like people. Lee is, as my aunt said, she's like the ace reporter. She will actually, my aunt said she's like the ace reporter. I said she's more like a detective. So she'll find out whatever you're doing, come rat on you. Or if she doesn't come rat on you, she's like, okay, what are you going to do? She was good at blackmailing, what are you going to give me to keep my mouth shut? Now, this is when she's 3 or 4. She literally, it's like that, wrote the book on revenge. Okay, you took her toy. No problem. Your toy or whatever you had that you liked come up missing. You can pretty much guess that she took it and is up to no good with it. So your best bet is to say, let me just leave her alone. I'm not going to mess with her. Let her do her, and it's fine. It's all good. Okay. So at that point, I was like, would it be a good idea to, it's almost time for school and everything else like that. So what are we going to do? We're going to put her in preschool or nursery, and the decision was, with her attitude and everything else, so that the way it was, how would that work if, let's say, for example, she's in school playing with a toy and some other kid snatches that toy away from her? What is she going to do? Now, again, at the house, we already know that's going to end badly for you. Now, how that end badly is, so you always have the conversation with her. It's like that, even as a child. Okay, Tookie, you can't do that. And even then she had to, but why? They did this to me. I can, no, shh, you can't do that. Even though the more you explain to her that, try to correct that behavior, because when you get in an environment with a whole bunch of other kids that's not family and everything else, so that you can't exactly say, if they take your stuff, you can snatch their stuff and push them down, or they take your stuff and you wait for the perfect opportunity to break their stuff. So it was like, okay, well, all right, we put her in a school, a nursery that's really close to the house, really close, so we can get there fast, just in case anything happened and everything else. So that it was actually preschool, and surprisingly, she thrived in it. Around the class and everything else, and that we forewarned the teacher, and the teacher was a color. We had her for previous kids, so we was able to talk to her freely and said, okay, you may want to watch her just a little bit closer than everybody else. So, if someone does something to her, she is going to get them back. And you know how school tolerances is like that, again, especially in older grades, so that, you get kicked out for hitting a child back or everything else like that. So, okay. So preschool was going fine. We're like, okay, just when you start to relax, she's getting along with her other students in our class and everything else. That me and my wife going in, because I was part of in this school here, so that I was literally on the school board. I was on the school board for all my kids, so that, and so I have experience on what the policies are if the child, hits and things like that. So I know all the policies. But I'm like, okay, I felt relaxed. Everything is going well. So everything is going beautifully. Everything is going. Hey, how you doing, sir, and Jamal? Everything is going beautifully. Everything is basically wonderful. And then one day, we get a call. Oh, crap. What happened? Rushed to school and everything else like that. What happened? Well, this child proceeded to pull her hair on the I'm like, okay, you know what's coming next, but you say, okay, what does she do? She proceeded to beat the child like she was a rank stranger. Now, again, this child was a newcomer to the class, so that newcomer had issues of their own. So she felt she can bully Shuggy. Because Shuggy, again, when she's happy, she's got that smile, that lights up the room and everything else. So that little this new child didn't know, so that you get on that dark side, and well, not good for you. Okay. So I go to Shuggy. Oh, Shuggy, what happened? Now you can see the fury that's in her eyes and the sadness in her eyes, because she liked everybody around her. So you have to just like, okay, what happened, baby? Well, she did such and such. But baby, if she did something to you, you're supposed to call and let the teacher know. Daddy, I did. Okay. So did the teacher speak to her about this and everything else of that? There wasn't time, Daddy. Okay, what do you mean there wasn't time? Well, see, this happened on the park, and I was on a slide, and when she pulled the slide, I almost fell off the slide. Now, the slides are kiddie slides, they're not that big, but for a kid, it's like that. When you fall off the slide and everything else, so that you're going to injure yourself. Now, again, this didn't get translated to me from her teacher, because again, her teacher wasn't happy. Her normal teacher wasn't there. Substitute was there. So I'm like, okay, well, why didn't I get a phone call that she was also pulled off the slide and everything else? Yeah, I don't really condone what my daughter did, but this little girl basically endangered her. So you wonder why she acted the way she did. Now, again, this is not an excuse. Again, you're not supposed to try not to put hands on people. But I raised my child's letter is that if someone hits you, you hit them back if you have sufficient reason. You don't hit them for no reason. You don't. Well, I didn't see what happened. So then I questioned the teacher. I said, okay, come here, baby. Did you explain to this teacher what happened? Yes, Daddy, I did. She didn't believe me. So I let it go the first time. This is what my daughter told me. I let it go the first time, and then she pulled my hair again. Now I have to question, because I know what's coming. I know this is going to go up to the school board and everything else, that I got to answer for this and everything else, that she's going to be suspended and everything else, so that everything is going to happen. Just so it happened to be that some of the other kids around came up to say, well, this girl was pulling my hair too, and she's been kicking people and everything else like that. So you have a whole bunch of people saying the same thing, that this girl is unruly and basically attacking other kids. But when again, any child that has injuries or their face and everything else, so that, because again, my child is like, okay, I'm going to hit you as many times as I can, as hard as I can, to let you know, don't F with me. Okay. Now, of course, we had to bring her home and everything else, so that. I know this was going to get called up to the school board. Next day, I get called in by her actual teacher. Mr. Edwards, you know what our policy, again, because I'm on the school board, I know what the policy is. But in this case here, we're going to forgo this, even though you want to give her a warning about this. But we've had other reports from other students that this student was doing bad things to other kids. Okay, so that immediately told me, it's like that my child has, as my wife called it, anger management issues. Now, to some other people, are like, okay, well, your child is defending yourself. You know, that's how my brain would classify it. But then again, I was raised on the streets of New York, where, you know, gunplay violence and all other type of things is common. You know, fights after school and everything else, that again is normal, common. So, okay. So that's the first incident of, you know, gonna do cripe up. It's like, okay, we know she has anger issues. Again, teacher, okay, when you angry, think for a second, calm down, try to think of something else and everything else. And again, she's only at this point 5 years old. So I'm gonna show you a picture of her. This is her in school. Again, happy child. You can see how her eyes are nice and bright and everything else. That, you know, she's mellow. She likes. She liked her environment. It was great for us for that. Then, you know, this went on. We, you know, counseled her at home and everything else. Okay, baby, try not to don't hit them and everything else. So they call your teacher. You know, and then she would debate. Why do I need to do this? Why do I need to not just defend? No, baby. Even then, there's a point of defending yourself, and then there's a point where you're trying to do serious harm to someone else. You need to know where that line is. You know, okay. All right. So after that, we go into the next grade, so that she's getting into regular school and everything else. So that we had other kids in regular school. So we told her sisters, her brothers, because again, we had 3 in the same elementary school at the time when she went to elementary. Okay, watch over her. You know, if she comes during lunchtimes and tell you something, or if she's saying something to the teacher and the teacher's not listening, whatever, like that, you know, so that way you can get involved, so you can take her to whoever's higher than you to deal with this. Okay. Again, same situation happens. Since she is basically a child that looks like she's nice and, you know, she doesn't have a care in the world, you would think it's like, okay, let's get a picture of it so that you figure, okay, well, she's the person you can sit there and bully. No. So in grade school, same issues will creep up. Dad, these kids pick on me. Okay, let me go to the school. Now, I go to the school, I talk to the teachers. I'm like, okay, she's already telling me that this person's picking on me. She said that she talked to you about this already. Why is this still happening? Why has the other kid not been brought up in front of the principal, whatever, you know, supervisor thing supposed to happen, you know, to stop this? Because you're running the risk of not only her getting hurt, but of her hurting someone else badly. Okay. Week later, she comes home crying, mad, my boy says, okay, daddy, this person's picking on me, and do I need no? Now I told him, that's your little sister, but that whoever's picking on her is her age. You can't do anything about it. Older sister's like, okay, well, I can. No, you neither. Just both of y'all, you're not involved. You told me what happened. Everything else of that, I'm gonna go back to the school. Go back to the school again. Okay, make a report on it this time here and everything like that. And it's always the same thing. Well, we didn't see anything, and okay, all right. Now I warn these people. Now this is the second time I've already been here about this situation. I'm telling you, if you do not do something about it yourselves, I'm not going to be able to catch her, because I've already talked to the counselor about it, not to get super angry, because again, she came home crying, huffing. You can see the anger there, mad that she couldn't touch that person. So I'm like, no, you did the right thing. Even after you telling them they're doing the right thing, and then people keep messing with you. Then the next time it happened on the playground, Shuggy lost it. Yeah. Again, another version of, the girl had lumps on her face, but she said, well, Shuggy, they told the teacher that Shuggy did it. Shuggy did like the other girl did. I didn't do nothing to her. Now, mind you, I know what happened because my son shared the same lunchtime. Again, didn't tell my wife about it because really, but she put some lumps on the girl. Shuggy and lied, even though when I questioned her, she told me the truth, told her brother the truth, so that you cannot push her, before violence will ensue. She is the type of slut that will put hands on you with no problems, no thought. You can see her get so angry that tears start forming. My mom used to call it the bull in the china shop syndrome. When I was a kid, my eyes would go down like this because I'm so mad. Tears would come out my eyes, and at that point, I'm ready to fight, and I'm going to kick your butt. That's how that was. But my mom, it wasn't called anger management syndrome or anything else like that. So it was just, you pushed them too far, you got what your hand called for. Now for my wife, she's like, okay, you need to teach her techniques, because again, stuff happened to me when I got older that affected my ability with rage with stupid people or situations where we call them triggers. That's why I stay out of situations entirely I know it's going to trigger me. Or after a certain point, just like you guys see me play World. If you look at prayer videos, you see me play World of Tanks and everything else. You see when situations get completely out of control and people are acting completely stupid, and my brain starts to say nope, and then you see me just rage quit, because I know at this point I'm getting triggered. This is not worth it to me. Then I whoosha, calm down and do something else. So I'm teaching her the same thing. But at that situation point, it already told me, since my oldest daughter was getting bullied, my middle daughter at that point, when youngest daughter was getting bullied, it's time for me to pull them out of regular school, because I didn't want a situation where it could be in her file that, she's been kicked out of school for, or has a police record for literally hurting another child that starts something. Now, she would never start something herself, but she's always the type that will finish it, because she get that mad, and it gets past the point where all reasoning goes poof out the window. Some people they can back out of a situation like, okay, well, it's not worth it. Even everybody has a trigger point, but her trigger point is, real touchy, real sensitive, that you can set it off. So, okay. So that's how it went for the younger grades in school. So, let's give her a hobby. Let's get her something to do, you know. So she, again, is like me with a lot of things like that. So she's more like, okay, Dad, you're going outside to do something. Can I get a hammer? Can I get tools? Can I, you know, she wants to help out and drill things and just hit stuff with hammers, or try to help build something with me and everything else. So she was the one that was always outside with me. Now my oldest daughter later on came to the same realization. She's outside to move with me too, doing a lot of things. But Shuggy likes to be outside, you know, getting dirty with her hands. This is a thing for us. But I mean, let's go into another incident that happened when she was about 9 or 10 years old. Okay. So where we live at, so that is it's a dead end street. So basically, you can, if there is an outlet for you to turn each direction, but if you go straight, the street is basically dead ends. You can only turn left or right. So, you know, and this street here has been, it's really very quiet. We don't have a lot. We didn't have a lot of kids on the street until they started moving into a rooming house, a regular house that was broken up to little rooms, like 5 things down. So you had some older kids that moved in there and everything else to that. And everything was great. You know, my daughter would walk down back and forth in the street, but they started picking on Jazz. Okay. Now, it happened to be Sugar's outside with Jazz, playing with Jazz. They're having fun and everything else to that. Now, these kids are in the neighborhood of 16 years old. Sugar's only 10. These kids are big, you know. So you're talking about kids that are 5'2", 3, 4 in that neighborhood. Just let it, and Shook at this point is 4 foot nothing. So they have a big, you know, they're big, you know. Even though actually Sugar's about 4 foot 5, 6, but still, that's still nothing. And they're bullying Jazz and everything else, calling her names and throwing stuff at her. Okay, well, Shuggy, being who she is, goes out there like that and starts ready to throw punches. You want to bully my sister? Bring it on and everything else to that. Now you have one of my other kids were outside. I have to run outside the door. Because she's trying to throw hands. You have her sister, older sister, holding her back, getting hurt in the process, because you know she's trying to get to them. She's literally legit. It's like that. It's three, 4 people out there. It's like that, and she's like, I don't care. I don't. She's at that point where she don't give 2 F's, and she's going at them. They have her on size. They have her on numbers. Didn't matter to her. Someone is bothering her sissy. Someone's bothering, again, at this point Ray is along and everything else. That somebody's bothering Ray. That's the antithesis of a trigger. Someone bothering her siblings is tantamount to you trying to die, because she will go at you no matter what the numbers are, what's going on. She doesn't care. Again, now that's an irrational thought. You know you don't have the numbers. You know they're bigger than you for that. But at that point, it's like that. You didn't get, again, for me, it was the bull in the china shop. For her, it's the crying. I'm going to fight you. I don't care what's going on. Let's go. Her sister is literally trying to drag her back while I'm running out the house to see what the hell's going on. It's like that, you know. So Jazz literally got hurt more from her sister trying to hold her back, trying to get to these other people and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm outside and everything else like that, and then they run off and everything else like that. But they know it's like that okay, that little one there, she's trouble. Don't mess with her. Don't mess with her sister and everything else like that. Again, she is, Dad, you know, she's the debater. She'll argue with you for nothing. For no reason at all. If you say it's night outside, no, it's daytime. She will sit there and argue with you because for her it's fun just to argue, just to have the opposite viewpoint of what you have. Smart, intelligent, but we're a wee bit anger issues. Now, again, you can see in the photo right here, so that she's out there. She has a welding hat on. We spend time together on average a lot. Of all the kids in the house, since she's more like me, and so that she's like, okay, Dad, can we go outside and work on the bike? Okay. Dad, can we go outside welding on something? Okay. Because she's more into going outside and having a trade, doing something. She wants to be, in the field of engineering. She hates math with a passion, but she'll suffer through it as fast as best she can and good at it, even though she hates it. She will basically sit there and not curse, but go at it. I hate this bleep 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 ding blah blah bleep, bleep, because it literally is pissing her off. But she copes and still gets it done. So brain wise, smart wise, she's a child that I know when she gets older and she's like, well, I'm never having kids. This is her motto. And I made a bet with her and said, okay, I'll bet you that you will have a kid when you get older, or you'll get unlimited Pepsis, meaning one Pepsi a week for the rest of your life. Because I already know that she's going to make a great parent. Now, is she going to be super rough around the edges? Yes, she is. I want to go into what classically is called, what's anger management. Because a lot of people say I have anger management issues. A lot of people say she has anger management issues. But, and again, I've seen the psychologists about this because I have anger management because of different issues of, being in New York. But what clinically they call anger management and what we have, it may not be the same thing. Now a lot of things are different. So, would my classification be the same now was compared to what it was before? Probably not. But let's go into it so people will have an understanding what this is. Okay, anger management is a therapeutic intervention where patients are dysregulated relationship with anger. Temper tends to deploy anger more in constructive ways. Getting angry is normal, healthy part of being human. It helps us protect against anxiety and trauma. Individuals that cannot control their anger consistently to the point where it interferes with their own quality of life and their loved ones is considered an anger disorder. Anger disorders are something for comorbid with other mental issues. So now, I'm going to give you the common problem with this. It's like it says those with anger experience unhealthy anger, destructive rages, anger that hurts others, causes conflict and legal woes. These individuals cannot process anger in a healthy way, and when someone has a healthy relationship, anger is temporary and displaces quickly. Patients who experience destructive and persistent angers keep with an anger disorder that should contact a mental professional, of course. So that's what it says, and this is some of the symptoms. Common symptoms of ongoing and bottled up rage, focus on negative constantly, violence, destruction of belongings of others and properties, threats to individual or property, dangerous driving, constant irritability, and frequently arguing with others. Okay. Now, this is some of the things that some of the symptoms, again, so I'm not saying that she does not have anger issues, but it's not to the level where you need to see a psychologist on a constant basis. Frequently argue with others. For her, she does it all the time. And literally she thinks it's fun. And her arguments are not heated ones, but they're like, you're trash. You can't, basically it's in a fun way and so that, but she will sit there and argue with you about nothing all day long, just because. So, that frequently argue with others can be inside there. Constantly irritable. Okay, she's not constantly irritable. Dangerous drive. She doesn't drive yet, so it doesn't apply. Threats against individual property. Okay, this one here literally only applies when Someone is threatening to her. So she's not going to be the one that's going to go outside. Okay, fight me, bro. Come on, fight me. That's not going to happen. But if you're the type that want to try her, try to say, okay, let's bully her. Let's annoy her to the point where she's so frustrated. No, then she will fight you. Then she will bring the pain in extraordinary amounts. So I'm going to say this one falls in the classification. Destruction of belongings and of others. Okay, now we all know that we've all seen the pictures of somebody that's been jilted, and you see them key their car, break the windows, and all of stuff like this. Okay, if you push her too far, this is a possibility. Will she do it for no apparent reason? No. Does she threaten individuals on purpose for no reason at all? No, because again, she's happy. She's, even when she's arguing with people, so that it's you can see the fun on her face most of the time. It's when you push them buttons, when you go into a space that you really should not be going, that you may wake the bear. Again, that's why we call her Lee Bear. When you wake Lee Bear, you may end up hurt, or stuff that's yours may end up broken. So don't take her stuff. Don't try to take her stuff, hide it, or break her things and everything else, because she will pay you back. She will pay you back in spades. So that's a couple of this. Violence. Again, this only applies if and only if you push her. So most individuals see, okay, well, that person's not, it's the normal person. They're enjoying their day. You don't mess with them. She's not going to mess with you. If you push her, meaning that if you get physical over her, she would get physical with you. So this one only applies like any other person. If you instill violence upon her, she's going to instill violence upon you. Constantly focus on negative constantly. Yes and no. She has a pessimistic view of the world. I have a pessimistic view of the world. I think most people are not as bright as they should be, or they don't use their intelligence in a way that is constructive. Yes, I'm trying to say it in a nice way. The other ways use the S word, but I'm not going to go there. So she assumes that everybody is not going to be the brightest bulb in the world. And that's the reason why I said, okay, if you do it that way there, you won't be frustrated, because you know the person you're dealing with probably is like, okay, they're not going to have your intelligence, so don't get mad, just leave it go. The one way of coping with it. Ongoing bottled up rage and everything else to that. No. Again, because 95% of the time she's happy. Does stuff annoy the heck out of her? Like when her sister's doing stuff and everything else to that? Oh, yeah. Is she sarcastic as all get out? She will literally rip you to shreds like that. Just like, oh, you're trash. You can't do it right. What are you doing? Especially if you're doing it wrong, or especially if she showed you how to do it and you still continue to do it wrong. Then she's relentless on roasting you. We call it roasting. So yes, she's very sarcastic, but she doesn't show detachment. Again, the only time I've seen her detach from her emotions when literally someone has physically damaged her or have physically gone after her siblings. Again, when they were throwing rocks at Jazz or throwing stuff at Jazz, then this will come into play. Now, should she be seen by a professional? Probably not. Not at this point, because you're a kid. You deal. If you are taught correctly, which I'm trying my best to teach her the things that I was taught for anger management and everything is that to calm down. And my anger management is I'm not going to put my hand through walls. Again, prime example is just when I'm playing World of Tanks. You can see how disgusted I get with people that I feel are basically brain dead. Then it aggravates the hell out of me. And even at that point, you say, okay, time to let it go. I don't know if you've all seen these people that have the keyboards that have broken to pieces and everything else that because they went full rage mode. Mine never gets that far because I know it's okay. It's time to quit. If it's aggravating me that much, it's time to leave this alone for a while. Play another day, enjoy it, another day, and just get over it. So that's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching her how to deal with that anger that can well up inside of you. Now, will it come to a point later on when she gets older that she might need to see someone? I don't know. From what I see of all my children, yes, she is the angriest. She is more likely to hurt you compared to all my other kids. But if you're leaving her world alone, you're not, treading her dreams or trying to hurt her siblings, she's fine. She's great. She's the most loveliest people in the world. So it's like you go from sweet Shuggy to Lee Bear. When you're dealing with Shuggy Bear, it's all, again, Shuggy like in sugar. It's all sugar. It's all, oh my God. She's the one you want to be around her all the time. You want to be next to her and saying, oh, wow, what can we do today? What can we get into? What fun can we have? What everything that we can deal with in that day. Because again, you see this. You see that smile. You see, okay, we're doing something constructive. We're outside, welding something. We're outside playing games. She's learning something. Again, yesterday we was out doing the ATV. Sorry, the day before yesterday. Excuse me. And we went outside at 3 o'clock. I mean, I was hurting, but I had promised her I was going to go outside and help her work on her ATV. We took off the cylinder head, replaced the heads on it. We literally did everything. Hey, how you doing? Wow, really? That's not really what you want to see inside of a kid videos for that. But hey, some people are like that. But anyway, literally, we're outside and we literally lost track of time how long we're outside. Because again, we changed the cylinder head out. We put new heads on her quad. Placed the intake gaskets, everything. We basically rebuilt the upper part of the motor. And she enjoyed herself. We were like basically 3 hours we lost time just enjoying ourselves in the moment, rebuilding this head. Why? Because if you give her something to do constructive or something that she feels fun to do, even though it was very hard work, we're working outside in the heat, no air conditioning, we did have a fan on us and everything else like that. She enjoys it and she's enjoyed it be around. But if you pee in her cornflakes, if you do something to her, you slight her in a way that she feels personally hurt and attacked, at that point, you may eat a punch to your face, even though she's this young. Now, again, you can see her when she get that attitude with me, and I'm like, okay, have you lost your ever-loving mind? And then she remembers, wait, that's my dad. I'm small bodied. He will just, So, but again, most other people, you go around her. I mean, literally, she was working with my wife at her job, because my wife works for herself at a healthcare facility. The person that owns the healthcare facility, literally bought her in Xbox, I think it's 360. No, sorry, Xbox. Sorry, the Xbox One. Sorry, the One S. I keep remembering the name of it. The One S. Why? Because she's around these older patients, helping them, playing games with them, doing everything that you was like, oh wow, how can she ever be angry? And you have to look at some. No, that she's never angry. And when I tell people that she has anger management issues, when they look at her, they're like, no way. When I've seen her talk to these people, and she was so kind to them and everything else. That yes, because you are not trying to piss her off. You're not trying to get on her nerves. You're not trying to do something to her physically. But if you flip that switch, and it is a switch, then you may wear a beating. Now, well, again, this is like the third time that literally she's had, even as a child, has twice beaten somebody. Third time, if she could have beat these people, she would have tried. If it wasn't, she was getting carried and held back by her older sister. But you have to be able to separate between the two. When you're dealing with a person that has anger management issues, don't try to push their buttons. You see them welling. It's not like the anger just, it magically appears. You're doing something to a person with anger management issue. Now, if the person has severe anger management issues, well, you look at them the wrong way. It can make them say, okay, you want to go. She's not like that. The smile here tells you everything you need to know. The smile tells you that she is happy. She is a person that if you give her joy, you get joy. But if you don't, well, this is covering my middle child of 5. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and everything else like that. If you have any questions about anger management or anything else like that, feel free to leave inside the comments. I'm going to post this, of course, onto the podcast as usual on Thursday. This will be posted on YouTube on Thursday as well. So I hope you guys have a great evening. Hopefully you guys have, if you have a person that has anger management issues and you feel that they need help, please get them the help that they need. Even if they don't feel that they need help, so that have a conversation with them. Talk to them the best way you can about the issues that they're having. And maybe they'll listen. Maybe they'll get the help that they need. But as always, be safe, be kind, and this is Warp on the Deuce saying, warp out, have fun, and we'll catch you on the next one. Check you later, guys.